What's up, friends? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Justin Ryder. I'm a commercial real estate broker and content creator based right here in Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you for joining today. I recently participated in this super cool webinar with Augie Schmidt and Beth Azar, and the subject was nailing social media as a commercial real estate entrepreneur. If you're watching this, this is absolutely right up your alley.
Attention, it used to cost money, but now it's free. The queen will jump on the call and she's going to give us a rundown. And Beth has done tremendous on social media.
54% would rather watch creators break down a major event than watch the event.
And so I think if you're just starting out in this, it can be a bit intimidating to think, how am I going to join into this randomness? Well, really, you're not. You're actually going to go about producing content in an organized way, and that's what's ultimately going to make you successful. Now, because you might have missed it, part of this video is a breakdown of some of the coolest parts of this webinar. I've actually picked them out, and we're going to watch them and sort of interact with them together. So if you missed it, totally fine. You'll actually hear from my good friend Augie and friend Beth Azar in a little bit of what I said right here in this video quickly. Like I said, this was such a cool thing to be a part of. The last thing I want this webinar to do is fade into the internet void. So let's save some of the best pieces. Let's learn together, and we will jump in now with Augie's first point, which I thought was super cool. So check this out.
This is two versions of some type of consistency, but I have been much less consistent than Justin, all right? And what we see here is we both have increased impressions by 1,200%, which is great. Like, I'll take that as a win. But if you look at the total impressions over a year span, Justin is 10x over here, okay? So he has completely smashed me in this battle here.
Okay, so Augie makes a really great point here, and that's non-negotiable number one. You've got to be consistent. You've got to keep writing. Steve Jobs used to say, real artists ship. And if you're going to be a creator and build an audience that matters, that's meaningful, you've got to get comfortable posting a lot. Now, you might say, Justin, I've got some issues with that. For example, how am I going to brainstorm enough to post? Well, we're actually going to talk about that a little later today. You might say, Justin, I can't post that much because I'm very fearful of what people on the internet might say. Let me give you this small word of advice. People don't care. So feel free to post, because if people don't care now, the worst that can happen is they continue not to care. So regardless, you might just stop for a second, pause this video, and write down, what are the obstacles? Is it fear? Is it brainstorming? Is it creative? Is it idea? Is it time? What are the obstacles in my way of being consistent if this is something that is really important to me? Augie goes on to make this next point, which I'm gonna call non-negotiable number two. So let's check this out.
Is find what you're good at and passionate about. And this is big. This is probably the biggest, if you ask me. If you ask me personally, I think this is massive, because doing the opposite of this, if you do something that you don't like, if you do something that you are not passionate about or feels really unnatural to you, then I think that's going to be a massive mistake and cause the inconsistency.
All right, non-negotiable number two, and I think this is a really great point. Make the content that you're passionate about making, and really look at the mediums. Now, what do I mean by that? LinkedIn, Twitter, those are mostly writing. If you like to write, you can begin to pour into those platforms consistently. If you like video, you might begin to do YouTube shorts or long form YouTube videos like this one. If you like a local audience, you might try to get into Facebook and connect with your local businesses. Now, there is a caveat to this non-negotiable that I want to encourage you with. Let these different mediums stretch your skills when it comes to creation. For example, I have improved my writing skills drastically by working on the last 3 years, making good content, trying to make it punchy, try to communicate it, trying to make it simple. Trying video has helped me improve presentation and editing skills, and I'm really enjoying getting better at that. So don't just stick with what you're good at and what you like. Try to venture into places that will stretch your creative muscles. Now, as you begin to make posts that get traction, make sure to keep Beth's point. This is Beth Azar coming in. You need to keep this point in mind. Check this out.
People think that brokers, leasing agents, principals, managers of office, marketing people in your offices. I think they think that, we just got a new listing for a project for sale, for lease, and let's just put that up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. And that's not what social media is about. There's a reason the word has social in it. It's supposed to be engagement. And if you want to get results from social media, you should be social with it.
I really thought this was a genius point, which is simple, but you need to be engaging. Actually engage people and make it social. So well said, Beth. You need to talk about what you are learning. LinkedIn, for example, is a learning community. And the last thing you want to do is have 20 posts in a row that are a picture of a building that says just listed or a picture of a building that says just sold. That is not as engaging as someone saying, this building just closed and here's what I learned throughout the process. And Beth goes on to say, don't ever just repost an article, which a lot of people do. Take some time to put your spin on it. Share your vantage point and your perspective. People are more likely to engage when it's personal. So make social media engaging. Now, this definitely gets into what I'm about to say next, which is kind of funny to watch yourself, but I'm getting ready to jump into this presentation. And I hadn't planned on doing this, but the first thing I did was share my overarching goal on why I'm doing any of this, why I'm even making this video, which is hopefully to help people. Yeah, thank you all. My name's Justin Ryder. I'm a commercial real estate broker in Lexington, Kentucky. My content goals are to improve the sales life for my audience, and that's from an efficiency standpoint. So I will get pretty tactical when it comes to our profession, or a lot of our shared profession in commercial real estate. It's also from a personal standpoint, just because I care about people and I like writing and content that will hopefully improve people's lives. And that's non-negotiable number 4, that you should have a specific goal. And that part of that goal should be to add value to people's lives. All right, that leads me to non-negotiable number 5, and that is that you should have an actual plan. And that plan, in addition to adding value to people's lives, should allow you to accumulate 10,000 followers over the next 1 to 2, maybe 3 years by consistently posting 3 to 5 times a week. Now, what I did was share on the webinar the framework that I used looking back, and I'm now going to pass it on to you and sort of break it down. There are 3 things. First, you have to find your tribe. Second, you need to find your voice. And third, you need to find your rhythm. If you find your tribe and your voice and your rhythm, you are well on your way to 10,000 followers. Check it out. Here's a question. Do you have 25 creators whose content you enjoy, number 1, and number 2, you consistently interact with? Okay, so your tribe that you're gonna find first are 25 creators in your space. These creators are posting on a daily, if not weekly basis about your specialty, passion, niche, etc. So what you're going to do is start to build a relationship, maybe even friendship with these people by commenting on their post. So instead of just focusing on writing your own post, you're going to focus on interacting with your tribe. Remember, you're not a solo artist, you're a member of a community. So as you interact with 25 or 30 or however many you pick, you're gonna notice 2 things right off the bat. Number 1, these people have content that they're sharing. So there's subjects, there's topics, there's things they're talking about that people are interested in. You're going to begin to store those up in a list and note, okay, people in my space talk about these things. Second, you're gonna notice how they present the information. I'm gonna call this templates. So they're gonna have various ways, maybe video, maybe a certain way to write, maybe a bullet point list. You're going to notice ways that they share the content and start to store those up. So the hack here, and there's a huge hack, is to save all of these creators' activity feeds in one folder in your Chrome browser or whatever you use. That way, if you left click and open all, which is the picture you saw in my presentation, you will then see all of these people's feeds and be able to comment in 7 to 8 minutes on all of your tribe's latest activity. Okay, so what does it mean to find your voice in commercial real estate? This is really cool because you don't want to be plagiarizing or just regurgitating what you see out there. You want to add your own unique take to the world. You want to add your voice. So how does someone find their voice, and what can you begin to focus on writing? I think about 3 things. Number 1, I think about you. You have your own personality, passions, hobbies, unique skills. Ryan Serhant calls this the and. So of course you're going to post about real estate if you're a real estate entrepreneur, but also what is your and? Is it your location? Is it your hobby? Is it the projects that you like to specifically do? Maybe you're a dog person or a family person. You want to bring some of that into, but of course it won't be only unique things to you. It'll also be your specialty or market. These obviously are great things to post about. Is rent in your specific product type going up or down? What trends do you see? How is your market responding to certain national trends? If you want a good example of this, look up Jay Parsons, who's basically a multifamily scientist. Most of what I know about his apartments have been reading every post he's created in the last 5 years, which is absolutely epic. Lastly, you're going to post about specific deals. These deals, these reps that you get, these might be things that you put blood, sweat, and tears into. So to recap, I think about you and your own unique personal characteristics. I then think about, let's draw some buildings. You're in this market, you're existing. There are trends that you can talk about, rents and that kind of thing, right? What's going up, what's going down, etc., etc. Lastly, now I think you can take a specific building and zoom in on that specific building once you've got a deal. You can share a client testimony. You can share a crazy story that happened to get the deal closed, but you're focusing in on deals. So you have found your tribe, you've found your own voice, and lastly, now you find your rhythm. And then lastly, so now you've found your tribe, you've found your voice, you've got plenty of content, and then I would encourage you find your rhythm on your posting structure. Now, the rhythm is the easy part. What is possible for you once you have, let's say, 30 to 50 posts stored up, ideas fleshed out? Can you then start to place them on days in the week? Maybe Monday you share about you, and Wednesdays you share about your market. Maybe Fridays is always a client testimony. However you want to plan it, build yourself an actual schedule to establish consistency. And before you know it, you'll be on your way to 10,000 followers with a real audience that interacts with you and some incredible friendships, possibly some clients. So in conclusion, Beth Azor had commented during the webinar that this is not the era of corporate brands. It's the era of personal brands. And I believe if you watch this and put some of these things into practice, you'll be well on your way to building yours. Say it with me. I am not too late. I promise you, you are not too late in this. In fact, you could make an argument that you're early in the game, especially when it comes to video, which personally for me, I think is the future of this whole thing. So I'm all in on video, and feel free to join me. Hopefully this helped. Get out there, set the world on fire with your content. I'm excited to learn from you, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks.